Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photo chats, weekly photo talks. So today I want to talk about a photographer. His name is Frank Saul. He lives in Cedar City, Utah. And he travels. And I know because I have his book, Travels in Utah. And I have another book of his, Morning Walks. He shoots these with either a Bronica SQA or a Yashica mat 124, and I love this. So we always talk about what's the best way to get our work to last, and that's to print it. Well, he's printing it. And he asked me if he could send me a book, and I'm like, well, who says no to that? So he sent it to me, and I was so impressed. This is the first one he sent, and it's got a series of his photographs inside. He puts them all, here's a letter to me. He puts them all, one photo per page. And they're simple little photos. And he just takes photos of small towns in his travels, and he likes to put them into book form. And I said, this is wonderful. You could do this for a photo project. You could do this for a portfolio. I asked him, how does he do it? How much? And he said, well, he uses a company called Mixam, Mixam.com, which I have no affiliation with, and neither does he. But he says they give you a template. He lays out the photos in Photoshop. It's just one photo per template page. And it costs about $100 shipped for 30 copies. And he said for 30 copies, he ends up putting a few at the local gallery in his town where people know him, and he sells some. And he has a few for himself, and he gives some to friends. And he keeps some with him when he's out photographing in towns where he's traveling, and somebody meets him. He has something to say instead of a business card. Here's my work. He said if somebody's giving him any kind of a confrontation, he's like, hey, look, I'm just documenting what's going on. Here's my work. And it's a great, to me, it's a great calling card. It's a way to make our work last. He's putting out these different volumes. This is volume 3. So there were 2 that preceded it. And he has a little introduction page which talks about the project and what he's doing and why he's doing it and how he's doing it. And he's got one page in the back that has all of the locations, in case you were curious where he is. And this will last. His family will keep this and pass this down from generation to generation, long after they throw away books that they don't know the author, but this is his. And like I said, for every project we do, I could do one for the Wise Photo Project. I could do one for, I have a series of backyard barbecue family shots. I could do a lot of different series into a book, and then carry it around. I could do a Colorado Faces street photography book. And the idea that it's pretty inexpensive, relatively, $3 each, and you can afford to give them away, that seems like a huge, huge way to make our work exist, get it into print, create a layout that has, he has 32 pages or 32 pictures in that book. So that's how many pictures he uses. But that one is 32. This one is bigger. It's actually bound instead of stapled. And this one, let's see if he has a count on the back. He doesn't have a count on the back, but this one probably has closer to 50 or 60. And the idea is anything that you want to do, you can work through a local printer. Or you can use other online printers, I'm sure, besides Mixam. And the idea that we can make work and carry it with us. We can make work, and we have a purpose for it. We know where it's going to go. We know why we're shooting this. If you've seen the work of Jason Lee, he travels around with an old 4x5 camera and photographs in Texas, rural Texas, a lot of ruins, a lot of old buildings, like everybody. And he puts them out as books. And he's got a name being a Hollywood actor that he can probably get a book deal easier than most. But You can make a book. I can make a book. We can create a way to print our work and carry it with us. I was reading about Lee Friedlander, and when he started his first book project, he created a publishing company called Haywire Press. He said Haywire because that's the thing that you would fix everything at the farm with. And he had a goal of making books, making some prints, and getting those books to his wife and having her go around to local bookstores in New York and seeing if she could sell a few. There's something very grassroots about being able to self-publish, but not self-publish for, vanity's sake or just to have them in your closet. The idea is to get them out, to get them to a local gallery like he does. Have some for sale. Take them to your local bookshop. If you're traveling through an area, maybe you could make contact at the bookstores that are in that area and say, hey, I'm doing a project with your town in it, and maybe they would want it. And then you have a few other places to recoup some of your investment, and at the same time, you've got this great calling card when you meet new people and say, what do you do? Oh, I'll show you. Here, let's sit down for a coffee and I'll show you. Anyway, I think it's a great project idea, and I was very excited when this came in the mail because it felt like I was getting a little insider idea of somebody who's printing something in a size that I like, in a style that I like, and doing a quality that makes me go, hey, that's good. That's hand-holdable. That's paperback. That's simple. It's not terribly expensive. It doesn't feel like a cheap newsprint rag magazine. It's not the highest quality, glossy, offset printing, but it's certainly quality digital print, and it's quite affordable, which is always important. All right, that's today's photography talk. Are you going to make one? I'd love to see what you do, and if you do, send me one. I'd love to see it. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. Thanks so much to all my supporters. I'll be back next time. We'll talk more photography. As always, here's to good light.